say graphing. If you look at the curve here, all the graphs we are going to study today are based on f of x is equal to x squared. Remember, earlier we had put f of x in the form of a factoring x minus h squared plus k. So all quadratics can be put in this form. But to graph them, all we have to do is to know the graph of x squared. So this is the base. So we have fx of s squared. If you look at here, h is 0 and k is 0. So the vertex is at coordinates 0, 0. X is 0 and y is 0. That's why we have here. And the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 0. This is the one, the y. See this one? So if you look at this one, it's the axis of symmetry. Each branch here is the mirror of the other. If we take, for instance, the point here, this point, where x is equal to 2, where y is equal to 4, the other side also, when x is equal to -2, we have here y is got 4. So it's a mirror. All points are mirror of the other. So if we cut this and we pull it in the other side, they will overlap here. Okay. So without wasting our time, let's see now all the possibilities of these graphs. Okay. Now let's look at a variation. The first variation is when we have this situation x minus 2 squared. If you develop this one, you can see that this is the curve saying that x squared minus 4x plus 4. We can see here that h is equal to 2 and k is equal to 0. This is the point. Okay. So what happens here is, look at these two here. So if we have this form x minus 2, this means we move x squared to the right by 2 units. Okay, we were here, we moved it here, x moved by 2 units. That's it. So if we know x squared, we can graph x minus 2 squared by moving it to the right along the x-axis by 2 units. Okay, and it is positive. When it is negative, we can just guess that it will come to the other side. Okay, when we have like x plus 2 squared, it will be somewhere here, the vertex. Okay, now let's continue here. We can see that if we base here fx is equal to x squared, we have here h is equal to 2, we have here h is equal to -2. So when we have this form, we move it, when h is -2, that looks like plus here, we move it to the left by h unit axis, x-axis, and the other way around, we move it to the right here by h unit. So here is 2, this is the one here, you see the green curve, and the other one here, this is the other color. So we know that when we have this form, we just have to move it, the original one, just graph the original x squared and then go from there. So if it is x plus something, you move it by h unit to the left, x minus something, move it by h unit to the right. I hope we understand this. Let's see the next one. There we go. Now before we had h, which was different from 0. Now we have h is equal to 0, but we have k, which is not null now. You see, k is making us change along the y-axis here. So if k is positive, we move the original 3 units up, like 3 here, 3 units up. If it is negative, k negative, push it k units down, k units up, k units down, positive, negative. Okay, this one is very easy. So we came from x squared, and then we pulled up, we moved it up 3 units along the y-axis. We got the equation of the graph of x squared plus 3, and then we did the other way around, pulled it down 3 units, and we got x squared minus 3. So now we know that if k is positive, we move up k units, k negative, we move down along the y-axis k units. Okay, very important graphing this. Let's see the next one. Now we have the problem with a. We know 1x squared is x squared, positive. Okay, a was positive, so we had this one opening up. Now if we have the minus sign here, like minus x squared, the minus sign just flips it, so it will be opening down now. So it is like flipping this along the y-axis, the x-axis. Okay, so when we have the negative sign, it flips, otherwise it has a maximum. In problems where you have a maximum to calculate, you should make sure that your a is negative, otherwise it will reach a minimum. You see, when it is coming here, the vertex is at the minimum, but when it is flipped, the vertex is at the maximum, so it goes up, and then stopped at the vertex and start coming down. Okay, I hope you see what the signs does on this graph. Okay, let's see the next. Now we are at our final step. So if we have y is equal to x squared as the original, the black guy here, if you see this, and there is one, this is opening wider and the other one is narrower. So when a is greater than 1, what do we get? We get a narrower curve. Okay, so it becomes narrower when a is greater than 1, and when a is between 0, let's see here, and 1, we get the other way around. It becomes wider. The smaller the a towards 0, the wider our quadratic. You see the graph. So if you have questions, you better think about it. You go from x squared and then say, okay, is it wider or narrower? If a is greater than 1, then it is really narrower. If a is between 0 and 1, less than 1 I mean, but greater than 0, we are wider. Okay, I hope you see this one. Now we have come to the summary of these. So look at this one here. Fx of fx is equal to negative x minus 2 squared plus 4. This is the combination of whatever we have seen so far. So there are 3 steps here. You can carry the step at any order. First, you can flip, then move to the right 2 units, and then move up 4 units. Okay, or you move up 4 units first, the original one, and then you move it to the right 2, and then you flip it. It's all the same thing. So what is happening here? Let's say f of x is equal to x squared. Okay, we know that the vertex is here, 0, 0, but the new vertex is 2 and 4. 2 and 4. How did we get here? Well, first, to graph this, we move the original one 2 units, it ends up here, and then we move it up 4 units, it ends up here. If we graph the original, it could be like this, okay, something like this. Now since we have a negative sign, we just flip it. That's what happened here. So when you have to graph something complicated like this, you just have to follow it, draw the original one, and then move 2 units, and then move 4 units up, and then flip it. If you look at the actual equation of this one, it is minus x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 4. Okay? So say this, it is minus x squared plus 4x minus 4 plus 4. See this? This is the one we should be ending up with. Okay? So now we have seen all these possibilities. When h is superior greater than 0, move to right h unit. When h less than 0, left h unit. When k greater than 0, up k units. K less than 0, down k units. Okay? Now when a negative less than 0, I would say, flip a between 0 and 1 wider, and a greater than 1 narrower. And that's all you have to it. If you come back and check these, you can graph any quadratic you may have. So that was what I had to show you in this one. And our next video, we are going to use whatever we learned so far, from the roots, from the factoring, from the introduction, from the graphing, and solve numerous quadratic problems. And this is very important. Okay? Thank you, and see you on the next video.